Do any of you have any more questions for him?
No, I already formed my diagnosis. Come on
Yeah,
now.
I'm ready.
I'm wrapping
Tara,
it up.
what about you?
No pun
Um,
intended.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
why do you think people are poor in our society?
I think there's some bad stuff that has been created with the idea of capitalism. One that kind of keeps people from achieving certain things. I think education is a big contributor. People not having financial literacy. And then
Think
there's a
anybody can pour themselves out of poverty?
with the education and the ability to do something that you want to do. Yes.
Hmm.
Do you believe in the school to prison pipeline?
Not really. No.
No.
What are
Interesting.
your views on a nuclear family?
Uh, it exists.
What's your views on it?
Oh, what's my view on it? I mean, it's a way that people do things. I mean, it's not necessarily the only way to do things, but sure, it's not something I would subscribe to saying I have to do or anyone has to do, but it's an option.
What are your views on immigration?
Legal immigration is great.
Hmm.
Illegal immigrants?
I think that we have not serviced the people on this side of the hemisphere, this side of the world, very greatly as a powerful country, and have
That's
not
enough. That's enough.
created
Um,
opportunities the other world, other
yeah, that's
places.
enough. What are your views on white supremacy?
Uh, it exists, but it's not a super large barrier to
What's
anybody.
your race?
I'm black.
Interesting. Does reverse racism exist?
What would you define it as?
Asked and answered. Any other questions, y'all?
I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. All right. Lynn, are you able to read it now, or do you need me to pull it up?
Oh no, you need to pull it up because y'all
That's
on my
fine.
phone now.
That's fine. All right. Monica, you want to read it again, or?
Um, yeah, I'll read it again.
All right. I got the poll.
All right. Number one, grandiose sense of self-importance.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I say yes.
absolutely.
We went on the chat. We don't have a lot of people in here. We do 6. That's fine. We can move on after that.
Okay, it says,
Yeah.
yep. Okay, so 2, fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
We on the chat. Taco, if you want, you can vote. I'm gonna take that as a yes, y'all. All right, good. You good? Next one.
That says yes. Okay. Where am I at?
I can
Believe
read
in being special and unique and can only be understood or should be associated with other
special.
special or high status people or
Yes.
institutions. Yes.
Absolutely. That's a yes in the chat. We go to the next one.
Yes. Requires excessive admiration. That's a
Absolutely.
yes.
Yep.
My bad, y'all. There's a delay on the poll. Go ahead and respond to the poll, y'all.
Looks like the chat's going to say yes.
That's
But
good. Next one.
okay, sense of entitlement, unreasonable expectations of especially favorable treatment, or automatic compliance with his or her expectations.
Yes.
Definitely. Most
Yes.
definitely. Chat says yes. We can go to the next one.
Interpersonally exploitive, takes advantages of others to achieve his or her own ends.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Waiting on the chat.
Come on, chat.
Who's voting in your own survey, sir? Go to the next one. I see.
Okay, I'd say yes. So okay. 7, lacks empathy, is unwilling to recognize
Yes.
or identify with the feelings and needs of others. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And the chat is saying, come on, get it.
All right, that's a yes.
Okay, envious of others or believes that others are envious of him or her. Yes.
Most definitely.
Yep.
Come on, chat. That's gonna be a yes. You can go to the next one.
Arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. 100%.
120%. You got it. Let's see what it says.
Hey, poll's going up. Please participate.
All right, y'all gonna have 1
Yes.
minute to do the poll. Make sure y'all go do the poll, okay? The more people who are in the poll, the more reliable it is. Viper, do not vote in your own poll. Y'all got 1 minute. Viper, do you want to respond to any of the responses? The questions or the criterion? You got less than a minute.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to how the criteria relates to each one and how everybody's voting. It's more of a idea of how does one end up being, I guess, in a, I don't want to say.
Yeah, I blocked his ass. He done
Oh
lost.
my god.
He done lost his motherfucking mind. He out of here.
A black man voting for Trump. You psychotic
That's where I
motherfucker.
said I'm done. And when I asked him about are black women the most marginalized group, I was like, yeah, no.
I ain't gonna hold you. I kind of zoned out a lot of the time when he was talking, but that did kind of bring me back to the conversation. I was like, what the fuck did I just hear? What?
I was out at military.
There are only
That was
two
a YT
votes.
man, y'all. That was a YT man.
Oh,
Yeah.
you right. He did say he was in the military. Ooh, the
Like,
Yep.
military done got a bunch of black men.
They
Lord.
like I
brainwashed
will
him, bro.
always definitely,
Vivek.
I will
Trump,
always
I understand, but Vivek.
I'm proud of y'all. We got a 100% non-fully red pill. I'm so proud of y'all. Let me
What you saying, Taco?
I was about to say, like, one thing I will say, like, this is like, once again, my own personal opinion. When I hear motherfuckers say military, I'm always on the fence on them. I have to hear them talk more. Like, all right, cool. Are you drinking the Kool-Aid, or are you just like, hey, it was a job? But the more he talked, I was like, all right, cool. Then also, I was so curious to ask him about his profile picture because his profile, I'm super into comic books. His profile picture was Doctor Doom, right? And so, like, I'm just like, I don't know why he kind of gone now, but like, profile picture was Doctor Doom. So I'm like, I was going to ask him after y'all got done asking questions, like, so what was the
Who is Dr. Doom?
Doctor Doom
Taco.
is one of like Marvel's biggest villains, right? And like in the comic books, he is like the Fantastic Four's greatest foe, all this other shit. But normally when I'm like certain profile pictures of like, especially we're talking about like nerds and all this other shit, I look at you a little differently. The same way how like if you see a person with like a Punisher logo on their shit, but they've never heard of Punisher a day in their life, you can guarantee they normally 9 times out of 10 on some YT supremacy tip, right?
Yep.
Certain characters give me certain views. I'm like, all right, I'm just kind of see where your head's at. You know what I mean? But yeah, you see what I mean? So like, yeah, Doctor Doom, like I ain't gonna hold on. Doctor Doom was the flag for me. Doctor Doom itself, as your starting profile, as your starting shit. All right.
Yes, yeah, I would have known.
The profile is always a giveaway.
Oh, look, Coco has, I think that's his picture up there.
Yeah, I looked at his stuff while everybody was talking to him.
Oh my god.
Okay, it checks. Oh, man.
Damn.
I was.
That's the guy who voted for Trump. Sorry, Taka.
No, you're fine.
Hey, Coco.
But yeah, you said
If not Trump.
Hey, Coco. What up, y'all? Did you want to say something?
Anyone who does that, who behaves like a denialist, is a whole sociopath. That's a person who you want to stay far away from, because majority of the time they are romanticizing these atrocities. They're romanticizing a lot of these awful psychotic things. And the way that he behaved too was giving antisocial. Like for some reason, in my back of my mind, he belongs on the list.
No, I agree. A lot of guys that join the military have this like superiority complex
No, I
and
served
they
with
want
them.
to control and assert their dominance on others.
I served
Man
with
is
them
definitely
for 8 years. I served in the Marine Corps with them, so I know.
Yeah, you would know.
I'm
is
sorry.
definitely on the watch list, y'all.
And then picking a villain for his profile, like,
But I can tell you
Yeah,
that he
like
didn't last long in the military.
yeah, like
He didn't last long. For him, it's giving terminal, like
yeah.
Lance. Like he didn't make it far. I promise you, he didn't
hey
with
Coco,
his
you
type
said
of
you did
behavior.
you said you did the Marines?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, fuck.
yeah. Don't say sorry. I'm done with it now. I'm free.
Oh yeah,
I'm
no,
honored.
I get that, but I've had experience with people who ex-Marines and stuff like that, and I'm like, ooh, the stories I've heard, I'm like, yeah, y'all, we good on that one. I'm yeah, no.
Yeah. Well, I'm all right, y'all. Been there, done it.
Dude, you're okay.
I'm all right.
Can't be an easy employment or place to be serving for this
No,
country at all.
not for a Black queer woman. It wasn't, but I did it.
No. Was it for like anything like maybe for education or
So when I
opportunity?
joined, it was during the recession.
Oh,
So, you know,
yeah.
the recession between like 2006, 2008 or 9. That's when I joined. So even though I grew up upper middle class, it didn't really matter, especially if you were Black. Like the access to opportunities were basically none unless you had network through family and et cetera. And my mom was one of these parents, along with my dad, was everybody needed to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps type of mentality.
Mm.
So even
I'm
though I
sorry.
did get a scholarship to George Mason University, if you know anything about George Mason University, it's expensive. There was no way I was going to make it, even with financial aid. I wouldn't have even been able to get financial aid.
This country failed you. I'm so sorry.
Right. So military was the only pipeline there. And so that's why I joined, and I did 8 years. But at least I did it so my son didn't have to do it.
Well, thank you for serving, and I
Don't
know,
thank me for that. I didn't do it
I
for
know,
the country.
I know, but you know, it's one of those things. I get the whole reason why we don't.
Monica, you know, you got to unpack that because that's such a white people response to somebody serving in the
That's something we're
military.
I
trained to
know it's not
say.
a habit though. Like honestly, we're always
What'd
told
you
to
say?
thank our.
Public.
Yeah, I did nothing for the
It's
country.
something we're
That was
told to
not for the
say.
country. It was just
We're
something
always
that I
told to
had to
thank
do.
our military for the service. I mean, it's
Yeah.
simply
Are
like when we
you
stand.
I
white
thank your
too, public?
teachers.
Hmm?
Wait, what'd you say?
She asked if you were white.
Am I white?
Yeah, that's what she asked.
Oh no. Yeah.
It's kind of like when we pledge allegiance to the flag.
Oh,
We do have to unpack
yeah.
it. I agree.
Hmm.
So,
I
I
thought you were
mean,
white because you said it's something that we were taught to
Yeah,
say, and I'm like, black people aren't taught to say that.
I'm
and
in the
Not.
South. So I'm in South Florida. So basically if you don't act white, you will be noticed and yeah, you'll feel it.
I'm in
Oh,
Texas,
okay.
and I know
I was
that's
gonna
bullshit.
say,
Please don't do that. That's a whole ass lie.
No, I've had to do a lot of deconstructing, but like I say we should thank our teachers. We should thank the people who like literally have to deal with the shit of the next generation. I respect military, but I don't thank them.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I agree with that. Don't think.
I'm
But the
honored that
other
you
shit
served in the
but the
Marines
other stuff that
because
you said was a crock of BS. Like just because there's encouragement for you to assimilate doesn't mean that majority of people do that in the South.
I think
I agree with that.
it's normally a white
She
person.
said,
Yeah, I expect that for white
Yeah,
people to
yeah, and
assimilate,
I
to
do
have that cloak of
apologize.
white privilege. But as
don't
far as
apologize.
as
You
far
didn't
as
offend
what
me.
Public Enemy said, please don't repeat that out in public again. That's a cop out excuse. If you choose
No,
to
but
assimilate, you choose to assimilate.
yeah, I just didn't mean to disrespect. Like that's
No,
never my
You didn't
intentions.
disrespect. You didn't
Trying to
disrespect
fine,
me,
Monica.
Monica. You didn't disrespect me at all. You disrespecting yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I know this country is just using our people, and they don't care about our vets. They don't care about the ones that serve. They exploit them. So
You're,
that's
you're fine on me because your comment actually addressed me, Monica. So I'm not offended by anything you're saying. I expect for you to have blind spots. I don't expect for you to be perfect in
thank you
everything.
for understanding that.
However, what I don't want to is in the future that gives you a pass. So just learn from it today. You don't have to think, especially us, just learn the nuance. That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna take that with me and make sure that I apply it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna
No
make
worries.
sure.
Can we move forward though? Because
Yeah.
Public Enemy, I got questions for you now.
Oh,
And Taco too. When
Wait, I wanted to tell Monica, I don't think that that's something Monica necessarily like. It's not, if you want to thank the military, but I'd like to say, question why you're thanking the military. But I don't think it's anything negative or like, that don't mean that you a covert racist or you a covert, something's wrong with you. I mean, but you just got to question why you were taught to be that way and whether you continue to do it or not. I don't think
it's.
like it
I
means
think it's
anything.
something
Like
from
there's no
like
secret meaning.
nationalism and comes from like maybe a place of fascism in this country that I grew up with, and thinking like, oh, you just have to have that American pride. But I've been unpacking it for years and realizing that it's a lie.
I personally never say thank you for. I never say that, y'all. The only reason I say that is because like the U.S. is colonizers and using imperialism.
Yeah.
So it's like I know people do it because it's situational, but and it's kind of like you forced into doing it in some situations. However, I feel like going to other countries where people can't fairly fight back in order to extract resources and like use people as capital. I'm not a fan.
right?
What about, okay, so I had the chance to meet some of the last Tuskegee Airmen. Um and we thank them for their service. What about y'all thinking about that?
No.
I just don't think people. I don't think people who are service in the military. I get that that's a thing. I'm like not.
I
I just
honor
don't feel
that
like I should have to think something like that.
they did what they had to do because whether they volunteered or not, they were going. And so I acknowledge that. I just give them the acknowledgement. Sometimes that's more than enough for those of us who have served, even historically. Like I have, elders in my family who have served. That acknowledgement alone of just the time is good without having to thank them for their service.
I see where y'all coming from. I agree.
All right, so I know you said you had a question for Taco. What's good?
No, not you, Public
Oh, oh,
Enemy, because
oh,
I have some questions.
I was confused. I was like, what the fuck did I do? I didn't even say
You
shit.
next, though. You next, homie. I got you. I got you.
Okay.
Don't worry. You're not safe just yet, bestie. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you.
I'm like, hey, look, you can ask them. I'll answer questions. It's cool.
No, but do you want to go first?
I
Before
guess
Public
so.
Enemy?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because you seem very anxious. You ready?
Oh no, I'm a little buzzed. That's is a little different. But yeah.
Spicy. Okay, let's go, guys. Okay, so
Do you know what's happening right now?
yeah, we're gonna ask questions, at least 3 panelists, like we did last time for the
Yeah, with
narcissism.
yeah,
Do you consent?
yeah, of course.
Y'all want to start? Cause I think we grilled Taco last time. So I think it's fair somebody else start with questions.
Okay, I didn't get my
Did you
chance.
say, we did grill Taco.
Yeah,
That's
y'all
how
first,
we
y'all first time
certify him
y'all
as
got
the
on me.
So we're gonna
homie.
do it again.
No, I'm good with Taco. Taco good in my book. That's the homie.
So what was his rating?
He was fine.
Look,
I think he scored all right. I thought he was normal from what we've
Nobody's normal.
okay,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like he compared to the red pill NPD guys. But yeah.
Yeah, Taco is definitely not red pill.
Yeah. He's chill.
We all got inherited traits, though.
That's true. Is there anybody else that wants to?
I want to ask Public Enemy these questions.
Pretty far from her. I do appreciate that.
No worries, but I'm probably going to ask you questions later too, Taco, because I like to see if someone's masking.
Oh, yeah, no, by all means, go right ahead.
Okay.
'Cause I think Public Enemy is a little muted right now, so like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to unmute. I want to ask for consent first, though.
I think you
I
need
have
to
actually
ask Public
she, her.
Enemy their
I just
gender.
have a deep
Yeah, I
voice.
was gonna say you
I-
need to
I'm
ask them
just,
their gender.
It doesn't matter the gender. Do you know how many women have been?
I know, but you
complicit?
called
But I
her
can
and
say-
him, so I was saying
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry. Her, yeah. So I want to ask questions about that too. Sorry about misgendering you.
I consent.
Okay, awesome too. Do you understand like the whole depth of red pill and then how any gender can be complicit in it?
Yes.
Okay, so what would that look like for even those who like, who either they're women, queer community, and et cetera? What does that look like?
Feeding into the harm, I would say definitely not seeing their own unchecked biases
Without
or
speaking
blind
vaguely.
spots. I tend to put people in gender roles in my mind, but I really try hard not to act on it. But if I see someone who looks of a certain gender, I assume. But I do ask for pronouns, but that doesn't matter.
Okay, but what about yourself when it comes to you? Like, what are some of your implicit biases in it? Do you believe you could have potentially adopted any of these core beliefs, principles, whether conscious or unconscious?
Unconscious. Conscious if someone would point it out to me.
But why can't you do the work on your own? Why would it take the labor of someone else? Because you do have the ability to check your own implicit biases.
I've never thought about it.
Okay. That's interesting.
Probably, and you never thought to deconstruct on your own?
No, I am deconstructing.
How do you,
I
how
just
are you
const-
deconstructing?
Mostly just listening to lives.
Have you so you listen to lives when you leave the internet? Do you do additional research? Have you read any books?
I listen to podcasts, but it's not the same.
No, it's not. Have you used any reliable sources? Are you aware they like even Redpill they have like empirical articles that you could look at? Metadata and data analysis. They have different books that talk about like our culture and gender in our society. Have you considered that at all?
I've considered it. I'm just pretty lazy.
Do you have any books on your reading list?
Nope.
Do you understand that just going online and listening to people anecdotal experiences is literally can be indoctrination? That's not actually
I do.
deconstruction.
Also, depending on the labor of Black women, Black queer, and non-binary too. That's not you doing the work. That's you exhausting emotional labor and being an energy harvester. Like no one can walk or hold your hand through your own self-discovery. That's how you work. Do you understand what misogynoir is? That's my next question.
Misogyny within
No, I said
Blackness.
misogynoir.
Oh no,
That's interesting. But do you understand misogyny, right?
probably not.
How would you define misogyny based on what your knowledge is right now? Do you know you're muted?
Oh, I just said discrimination against women.
So, what issues do women are currently facing, or how are women discriminated against?
Lack of bodily autonomy, not seen as equal in the social society or social structure.
What about your internalized misogyny? Have you been able to identify any ways that you have internalized misogyny? You muting?
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
Probably not. So, like, that's something that will come to you automatically. If you've been doing the work, it will come to you. Like, you got to think about it. It's probably again, it doesn't sound like you actually deconstructing. Um, and whether or not we say we're using reliable information here, you just consuming information is dangerous.
True.
Dang, I want to go next.
How long have you been watching lives about issues revolving around gender?
At least a year.
A year?
Yeah.
Are you in a relationship?
No.
Do you still want to be in a relationship? And if so, what kind of
No.
partner do you want? You don't want a relationship with a partner?
Nope.
What made you draw that make that decision?
I'm still working on myself, so
So when you're done working on yourself, do you perceive you may want a partner in the future?
no, because I'd hope to be fully good by myself.
Do you have any children?
No.
So when you can't even name it, like internalized misogyny. What does a pick me? You meet in Public Enemy.
Someone who wants to be picked by the opposite gender.
No. What kind of lives have you been in last year? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not the most patient person.
The ones really talk about race and religion and pro-choice.
Would you consider yourself an actually curious person who likes to learn about things?
Yeah.
So when I say that going to lives online without doing your own research is dangerous, what do you hear me saying?
I could be spreading my own internalized misogyny or things I don't understand just because I consume stuff without actually doing the research.
Why do you think that's something you haven't looked further into? Is after being in these conversations for a year?
Can you repeat that? It kind of broke out.
You said it's been like a year. I mean, before you come online, of course, there's deconstruction. But I just want to focus. You say you've been coming online, consuming information over a year. Um, why do you think you haven't taken the time to like do your own learning? Why haven't you prioritized it?
apathy.
That's a really vague answer.
As long as I had security in life, I didn't see the struggles of others. I didn't really start to care about people until 4 years ago. I didn't see how my inaction or my contributions could lead to further and perpetuating harm.
Do you know what's going on with Project 2025 right now?
Not well enough to rely it back.
Anybody else want to ask questions?
I
My
just
thing,
got
I have a question too, and this is probably centering the whole self-importance thing. What was it about this ideal of you not caring about other people? Where does that stem from? Where does that stem from? Do you know?
Uh, my own existence.
What about your own existence?
Uh, just I was not forced, but it was easier to fit in to just be apathetic. So you just kind of normalize stuff that hurts others.
Okay, so what about people caring for you though?
How so?
Because I mean, you come into spaces such as these type of spaces where it's informative, where people do show empathy and et cetera, and you're taking in all that energy. So, do you have that expectation for people to have empathy towards you?
Oh no.
Or are you aware
Of aware of
that that energy projects off differently?
which energy.
The energy of you claiming that you do not care. However, the opposite of that, your behavior shows differently. Because if you said that well, obviously you're acknowledging that you lack self-awareness. You also go into places and you don't mind correcting other people or informing other people as well. And you kind of have like this enforcer type of mindset, but that's a whole different story. But that is because you expect people to have empathy for the situations that you care about. However, when it comes to this, you just already acknowledge that, hey, you can be apathetic. But then underneath the same breath, now you are saying that you don't care if people are apathetic towards you. Do you understand how like wild that is? That's kind of all over the place. But we'll move on to another question.
I'm
Well,
realizing.
I do understand that. I just don't want to take too long to answer questions, so I'm trying to keep them short and sweet.
Well, that's fine.
I
We already acknowledged that. We can move forward.
Okay, thank you.
Do you what made you come up here?
I think I sent a request.
It was
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you sent a request?
No, they can still respond though.
yeah. I asked if I could join.
Yeah, but why?
I wanted to get better at listening. I guess I just wanted to test to see if I could spot the red pill mannerisms.
But that
Would you consider yourself a confident person?
No.
Do you think you have social anxiety?
Yeah.
When does your confidence pick up? Because I mean, you have
When
enough
I'm alone,
confidence to come into the box. So when does your confidence pick up?
after I hang out with friends, when I'm alone.
So when you with friends, do you constantly worry about your image and the way you portray, like the way your friends may portray you?
No,
Hmm.
Would you say that you care for validation?
no.
Do you value your friendships?
Yes.
Okay. In what way? What does that look like?
When I'm with someone, I don't like to not be in the moment.
Are you a good friend?
Only my friends can tell you that.
I can barely understand you.
They said that their friends could tell you that. They don't know, their friends would have to tell you. Um, what do you value in your friendships? Like, what do you value about them?
Being able to vibe with people. Sometimes we don't say anything, just hang out.
What about them as people do you like?
Loyalty. They're usually funny. They are open minded. Uh, a lot of them aren't like me, but they're not like each other. So I guess diversity. That's yeah.
What's the makeup of that friendship? Like gender, race, ethnicity?
My closest friendship or my other like my friends in general.
You would know more than me.
Friends in general. 70% women, 30% guys, and then a lot of white friends, a lot of people in the community.
If your friends needed you for anything, as support, would you be there for them?
Absolutely.
Okay, I have no further questions.
In your friendships, do you guys have a little bit of competition?
No.
Are any of your friends diagnosed with anything? As far as like the spectrum, maybe ADHD? Basically, I'm asking if they're not neurodivergent.
Yes.
Are you neurodivergent?
I don't know.
How are you this aware about your friendships but not aware about yourself? Do you study your friends? Do you like studying people?
I listen,
Well,
and I don't
that's
like to
what I'm
talk a lot,
asking.
so I'm always asking questions.
I'm asking if you like studying people. That's my question.
No.
So then why do you ask? Why do you like coming into panels and asking a lot of questions?
I don't like doing that.
You just said that you come onto the panel and you ask a lot of questions. So why do you like
I
doing?
thought you were referring to my friendships. Sorry.
You know what? I'm done. I'm ready.
It's not that many people in chat. We're gonna do like first three.
All right. I guess I'll just read the first one.
Yeah.
This sense of self-importance.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm feeling unsure. Tara, Taco Bob, what do you guys think?
I'm leaning towards yes.
Oh yeah, I go. I already kind of like clicked in the chat. It's this was a very interesting few questions. Not gonna lie to you guys. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I'm gonna say no, but it seems that two people in the chat said yes. So and two people on the panel said yes. So it seems okay. Now they've tied. Okay, now three people said no. Okay, Lynn's here.
Go ahead for to the next one.
Okay, two fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love.
No.
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 Seems like it's a no. Okay. Belief in being special and unique can only be understood or should be associated with special or high status people or institutions.
Yes.
Yes. It's subtle.
Very subtle, but yes.
Oh no.
Yeah, a lot of public answers were covert. You need to read between the lines.
Yeah, I picked that up when like all my friends are different. I think that was one of the, it was a few comments that was made, but I definitely felt yes on that one. We can go to the next one.
Okay. Requires excessive admiration.
I think yes.
Yeah, I think
in denial.
I think they do require admiration, even though they say no. Only one person answered in the chat.
That's weird because three people answered in the chat.
Yeah, and they all said they agreed.
Oh, was that the old chat?
I
Yeah,
don't know. It must be the old one.
Yeah, it was the question beforehand.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go with yes for that one.
Okay.
All right, what's the next one?
Required. Oh, sorry, reading the wrong one again. Sense of entitlement, unreasonable expectations of especially favorable treatment, or automatic compliance with his or her expectations.
Yes.
I don't know if I think they're entitled. For me, I'm undecided on that one. Lynn, Taco, what did you guys think?
I wouldn't say it's like an entitlement, but it is something that is there. I'm noticing,
Unreasonable
but it's like
expectations, maybe.
It's like you have no problems kind of like telling other people, hey, no, is this and third, but when it comes to other things, you're a little more like, I don't know. It's but also it could be the fact of like the question, how you're answering the question, we're all very short. So we're going off of that information of how short the questions, the answers you were giving.
Yeah, we couldn't get too deep in the answers or
using my critical thinking based off of the avoidance.
Yeah.
But also to the basis of your friendship, and when you go into other boxes and etc., and you're inquiring a lot of information, that is entitlement.
I was gonna ask, Public Enemy, how
without
old are you?
that
You don't
being
mind me asking?
reciprocated, because it's without it being reciprocated because you lack so much self-awareness. So what exactly are you giving back? How are you exactly filling in their cup while pouring so much out of their cup at the same time? And
Taco wanted to know how old you are, public.
If you're comfortable with asking that, answering that, obviously.
I'm 30.
Oh, I thought you were younger.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. I thought you were way younger than that.
Yeah, I thought they were way younger too.
I saw their pictures.
Okay. I guess the next one would be interpersonally exploitive, takes advantage of others to achieve his or her own ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, just subtle, covert.
Yeah, I noticed we couldn't get deep with like our questions. Very surface level. And it maybe was purposeful, so. Okay, next one is lacks empathy, is unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. I can say yes.
They already acknowledged that they're apathetic.
Yeah, they keep saying that, so I'm gonna say yes to that one. Tara, Taco, Lynn.
Say yes.
Oh yeah, I already voted in the chat.
Okay. So then the
believe
next
so.
the next one's envious of others or believes that others are envious of him or her. I don't know.
That one I can't answer.
I can't. I'm gonna say no because I didn't get a question where I could clarify for that one.
They're not. They don't have enough awareness to be even
Yeah.
able to dictate it or be envious.
Yeah. So the final one: arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes.
Yes, because of the entitledness.
Okay. Let's see if we can get the vote in the chat.
I said no.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think this is from the last
That's
one. I
from
think
the last one.
That was the last one for.
I don't know. My bad.
Okay, for the arrogance, haughty behaviors or attitudes. I'm honestly, I don't know if they're arrogant. I know they're apathetic. It's all good. They're apathetic. Haughty behaviors, I don't know.
Chat says no.
Okay, I guess we'll just do a poll. So if anyone here would like to participate, we'd really appreciate it.
Y'all know that the poll is right there at the top. At the right, see the blue clipboard? Like it don't take that long to go and click on a clipboard, y'all.
Yeah.
Like what it says.
Have you heard of covert narcissism? I don't know if you're still there.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
I said, have you heard of covert narcissism?
Yes.
You should definitely explore that more in depth. And I think that you should go dig and tap into your unconsciousness.
Public, do you think it's possible that you're a narcissist?
Yeah.
Do you understand, like, as far as like covert narcissism, how actually harmful that is potentially?
I don't understand it. No.
Covert narcissism is parasitic. It's even more parasitic, I would say, than overt narcissism, because you get away with a lot of things for a lot longer, and you get to weaponize plausible deniability, which is kind of like one of the things that you were doing in this space when I was asking you questions. I clocked on to it earlier.
General consensus put you at a 7, which is out of the 9 criteria, 7 means it's a MPD. We had one person said 8, and one person said not so. I think I'm just gonna say based on the way you answered it, you should definitely seek out mental health, like maybe a psychiatrist or yeah, a psychiatrist or sociologist to kind of like some type of mental health services to deal with that. I'm gonna be honest, it was hard to get through. It was hard for me to listen to your answers because of the way you was answering. I don't know if it was just me, but like it made even asking questions really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I felt so uncomfortable this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I low key wanted to drop you.
Yeah,
Um,
but I don't know if it was a defense mechanism or if it's like social anxiety or what the heck it is.
No, it's different from social anxiety.
It's like you want to be on the panel, but I don't know what for. If you nobody's telling people
no,
that they have
no, literally,
MPD.
I
What,
do.
Nolan? No, that's not true. We're not telling people that they literally have that.
Right. I
Literally
asked them if they
said
knew what it was. We asked questions. We didn't project
It says
anything
for
else.
entertainment purposes. It's in the
no, not
disclosure.
no, but not only that. Literally, based on the way people score, we tell them to go get go seek
Right.
health services. No one
Yes.
said this is what you have. That's what the label you need to walk around with now. But people don't
Hmm.
come and say that. That's why we don't respond to people in the comments.
And this person's been basically just whatever questions you ask, this person's been in denial in the comment section on and off for a while.
Mhm.
Nolan's been here for a while.
Lynn, do you still want to do it?
Sure.
Lynn, do you know what's happening right now?
Yes.
Do you consent?
Yes.
Um, how have you challenged your own internalized misogyny?
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm laughing because my ex just sent me a stupid text message. But how did I do it? I'm sorry.
I said, how have you challenged your own internalized misogyny?
um, I guess I've looked at the way that I was raised, the way that I was brought up when it comes to religion, when it comes to the relationship that I had with my mom, and the relationships that I've had with men in my life. And I kind of looked at how it's affected me as a woman, and how it's affected my self esteem. And then I compared that to how other women have experienced it in their life. Um, and I took on that knowledge and kind of used it as a framework to say, hey, this is what I have in my life, that's affecting me, and use that to help unpack it.
Can you like list anything specifically you've identified and been working through?
Oh yeah, definitely. I would say my early 20s centering men, um, using the I don't even know what to call it, like old school gender norms to try to convince men to be in a relationship, like cooking and cleaning. Um, Definitely playing into the tropes, like having a man is better than not having a man at all. I would say even listening to, I call it like sad female artists, like sad love songs, and playing into all that and sacrificing my happiness, or believing I have to sacrifice my happiness for a man's happiness or for the better of like us in our relationship.
Um,
What about seeking resolutions? when it comes to having reciprocal relationships with friends, acquaintances, or intimacy?
Okay, when it comes to intimacy, I would say resolutions that I seek is going through therapy, learning about like attachment styles, learning about obsession with love. I've read a book. I've read several books actually. I've read Addicted to Love. I've read Codependency Be Gone. I've read Attached. I've studied attachment theory like profusely. Definitely have talked to my therapist about my attachment, about my father wounds, about my mother wounds. Kind of unpack that with my family. I definitely humanize my mom because that's a relationship that affects me. I feel like greater than friendship because that kind of is where your attachment stems from. So with me, I had to humanize her and definitely have very hard conversations with her and make decisions as to if I'm going to let what happened to me as a child affect me for the rest of my life or am I gonna like move on and create a new life story for myself? And as far as friendships, I would say that I have had to come to terms with the things that I've done to ruin like one of my longest and best friendships that I've ever had. My best friend from middle school. And I definitely communicated what the part that I played and us not talking for like 3 years. That's the whole situation. And apologize to her for the part that I played in it. And I was able to hear her out on how she felt and definitely, didn't blame her for the whole thing. And I'm happy to say that we're back friends. But to me, I believe in friendship, like conflict resolution and friendships is what make friendships stronger. Like I believe that's what made our friendship stronger. So
Okay. My next question, too. I think that was a really good answer, by the way. Do you know that misogyny and colorism go hand in hand?
no, I didn't know that. Well, like I probably did, but I've never thought about it in that way.
Okay. Can you take a wild guess of why they may be interconnected or how they are interconnected? Give me your best answer.
I guess preference, like I don't know how, but I have a feeling like men saying like, "Oh, I like light skinned women" as a preference, when it's really to me like anti blackness and colorism. And oh my God, duh, it just clicked to me. I am so sorry. Okay, yeah, when definitely when people attribute being light skinned as more feminine and dark skin as more masculine, um, and that definitely affects women and men, right? Because they say like light skinned men are feminine, dark skinned men are masculine and aggressive, quote unquote. But then they use they say the same thing about women. And I guess I mean it's harmful both ways, definitely.
Yes, but on a basis of colorism, what's the definition of that?
Colorism? Colorism is a form of anti-blackness that exists in our community, and I believe that it's I believe it's inherent in light skinned people, specifically light skinned women. It's disguised as a preference, um, but it's not only in our community; it's in every community.
I'm aware of that, but I'm talking about specifically our community. So
Okay.
in colorism, who is predominantly or who is the only group that is affected negatively?
I'd say the darkest skinned black person is affected the most.
Right. And then so basically the darker the hue you are, the harsher the blow of oppression or discrimination you're going to face, right?
Definitely.
So then how would colorism affect light skinned men then?
I say it.
If
I have to
misogyny
think.
and colorism go hand in hand, then how would colorism affect light skinned men?
I don't think colorism can be perpetuated against light skinned people. It's definitely anti-blackness, but I have to think about that more, like in the way that that weird, like reverse thing that's going on there with like the because I'll be honest, I don't really think about it when it comes to light skinned men. Like I think that light skinned men, they I don't even know if it bothers them. I never asked them because I don't really care, to be honest. But I don't know. I never thought about light skinned men and how
It
none of
wouldn't
that.
hurt them because of their proximity to whiteness. They still hold privilege no matter what dark skinned men say. There is no way
Oh,
they
for
can punch
sure.
down on lighter skin tone men, especially in misogyny. Is still not going to have as great as an impact as it would have for them for being dark skinned.
Oh, for sure. No, they definitely hold privilege.
Yeah.
For
Well, I was
sure.
asking you because you made it a both sides thing earlier, but now I get where you're coming from. So,
So, didn't mean to interrupt, but I was definitely say as a light skinned man, that shit does put us in a lot of good favor more than anything else. I will agree
Oh
with that
no.
fully.
When it comes to when I say I don't know how it affects them, I meant like I
Oh
don't
no,
know
no,
if it
I'm.
hurts their feelings. No, no, I'm talking to Coco. Like
Oh,
and
I
I've
was just
never thought
agreeing with
about
what
if
y'all
it
was
hurts their
saying. I'm
feelings.
sorry, didn't
Night,
mean to interrupt.
Monica.
so what about devaluing women based on their appearance as well for misogyny and colorism? Because it's a lot deeper than just preferences. And how do light skinned women contribute to that social hierarchy?
I think light skinned women contribute to it by denying that it exists. And that's very frustrating because as a light skinned woman, I know, and I've talked about this before, especially on this panel and amongst women on this panel. I've talked about how like light skinned women feel safe with other light skinned women. So I've heard the way it's talked about, right? And how light skinned women will talk about it like, oh yeah, it's not really a thing. So they're in denial about it, and then they say dark skinned women are just jealous of them, like it, that, and how light skinned women don't check men when it comes to it. Like if a man comes to you and says, hey, I date light skinned women because of this, because of that, whatever the reason be, I only date light skinned women. Not checking him on that contributes to colorism.
Um, what are your views on gender roles?
I like gender roles when it comes to men paying all my bills.
Um, if you was to have a son, would you tell him that's also what he needs to do? Would you reinforce it with your own child?
Mm, dang, I've never thought about it. I guess it'd be hypocritical if I didn't. I've never thought about it. But yeah, I guess so. Like, don't be a bum, I'd say. Like, make sure that you are financially stable and make sure that, you're prepared to take care of a woman if you plan on having a family. Because if that woman has children and she needs to take time off work. It'll be the same reason why I like for a man to make more and be able to pay for the bills. Like he needs to be able to make sure that he has the money to support his family and support his wife, especially because I've seen in my own life like the effects of postpartum pregnancy, and I've seen like what my cousin has had to do to help his fiance. And if he wasn't financially prepared for that, I don't know what would have happened to them. So yeah, I would definitely tell my son to make sure that he is able to take care of an entire household, if not be financially prepared before um, taking on the responsibility of a family.
I need to start writing these down. I had a question and I forgot it. Um, give me just a second.
When it comes to red pill and triangulation, do you see how misogynoir plays a hand as far as like colorism too in our community?
Yes, absolutely.
What does that look like? Because I've just based, matter of fact, we just based off what we see on social media. We don't have to go that deep. What is the predominant group that sits in their panels as far, as far as pick
As
me?
far as skin tone, like, are you asking me if it's like light skin, more majority light skin women or
Like
majority?
white tea women. It could be biracial, multicultural. It could be
I've seen
anybody.
it. I've seen it all. I've
Yeah.
seen white tea women. I've seen light skinned women. I've seen dark skinned women. I've seen old women, young women. I've seen it all.
Because anyone can perpetuate colorism. It could be man, woman, regardless of your shade.
Right.
And
I
the
agree.
people who are usually disparaged, however, are predominantly who, regardless of what preference is in their box.
I say dark skinned black women.
What about monoracial black women in general, too, right? Because light skinned women can also be affected if they don't fall in line, right?
I
Because
say light skinned black women may experience featureism or anti blackness, but colorism, no.
well, no, obviously not colors, but I'm talking about the blow of the vitriol. That's what I'm talking about.
Of the what role?
The vitriol, the language.
Oh, yeah. Light skinned black women can experience too, monoracial black women.
But
Um,
at what degree though?
mm, Obviously not as worse as dark skinned black women because of the 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 trope that dark skinned black women are more masculine. So when it comes to red pill talking points and the way they associate being light skinned with like femininity, I feel like light skinned women can slide under that a little bit, and they can get away with not being targeted as much. But if you are phenotypically black and like your features are heavily black, I'm talking about like a wide nose or maybe
African.
big lips, yeah, then you can definitely. No, I still think you get a pass for being light skinned.
Sometimes. Yeah.
For a majority of the time, yeah, I think. But yeah, I feel like they're a little less. They're a little. They give you a little more pass with it. Like they're gentle with the shaming and the massage noir.
So Len, you say you eventually want to have children, correct?
Yeah, one, maybe two, a max, absolute max, two.
What does it do for you to have children? Like, why do you want children?
I want to have children for selfish reasons. Like, I want to have children so that I can see, so that I can like see what my kids will look like.
So do
It's
you,
just like
do you
because
see
I was
children?
told
Is it so?
what.
Is it an aesthetic thing as far as children for now?
Yeah, I want to have kids because I've always wanted to have kids. But I guess that's why like at first I wanted to have like three or four, and then it went down to two, and then now it's like one. Because I'm like, I want to have kids just to try having like just to have a kid. But like I really don't, if I'm being honest, and I've already been honest with myself, so I can say this on TikTok, and I don't really care. Um, if I'm being honest, like I don't see the point of having kids, so I'm okay if I don't have kids. But I want to have kids because I want to experience having kids, and there's a part of me that like is like, what if I want to have kids later on, and like I want to see what it's like to have kids, like to have a kid at least, to take care of another human being, and but then when I think about it, like down to the root, I'm like, I guess it don't really matter if I do, if I don't. Like I
Do
question it
you
often.
do you see children like for as far as like your ideal of children? If you were to have a child, would you see that child as an extension of you, or its own being?
I would see it as its own being.
Okay.
Um, give 5 words. Describe yourself in 5 different ways.
I would say loud, talkative, um, definitely confident, intuitive. What? How many words is that? Loud, confident.
That's 4.
Oh, and funny.
Do you believe in boundaries, and what does that look like for you?
I'm starting to believe in boundaries. Um, I how can I say this? I am learning to, I have learned to express my boundaries. I think that I am in the process of learning to, but I don't know if this process will ever end, of respecting other people's boundaries.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe boundaries are negotiable?
No,
Um,
what you said? Oh, I thought she said something.
it's not like a car was racing. Um,
It's my background, my bad.
no, you good. I think it's my brain's shutting down a little bit. But you said your issues with your mother. Have you fully unpacked that, or
Yeah, I have.
um, what how do I say this? Um, how have you shown your mother empathy for the pain she's caused you?
I had to really take a look at what time period she was raised in and also the things that she's gone through, like as a woman, and not pedestalize her, like make her into this superhero. Like she should have known, she could have done better, or things like that. I think that I always tell my mom, like, that she judges herself too harshly. And I think that I like when it comes to like raising kids, because I have to believe maybe moms always wonder like how their kids turned out. But I think like we turned out like just fine, and I think she tried her hardest. Um, so yeah, I think she's a human being, and I think all human beings have their unique life experience. And just because she's my mom, that doesn't mean that her life experience should be invalidated because she has the role of mother. At one point in time, without kids, I mean, she's a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like she's a woman born in the United States, in the freaking 50s. So her unique life experience has definitely shaped her, and made her the person she was, including the things that like she overcame to be able to raise me. Definitely sacrificed a lot to be able to raise me and my sister and my brother. But yeah, so I thank her for the things that she did for me, but also forgive her for the things that she did not do for me or could not do for me in my perception of how I lacked or didn't lack, you know?
Yeah.
How do you feel whenever you're dismissed or ignored?
Mm, Immediately I'm annoyed, but when I think about it, I try to find some understanding.
Are you open to rejection, giving and receiving?
I don't really care about rejection.
What about with contempt?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Contempt, you don't understand what contentment is? Because I can explain. So,
Yeah, no,
so some people avoid rejection by holding someone in contempt, basically. So, basically, kind of like Darvel. You heard of Darvel?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's like contempt. That's a form of contempt.
Okay, so ask me again.
So, what about with contempt? Are you open to, like, how do you navigate through that, basically, is what I'm asking.
You know what? To be honest, Coco, I still don't understand it.
How to navigate through not narcissism, but rejection and contempt.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still working on that self discovery? Is that what you need?
No, I just don't understand it.
Rejection?
No, rejection with contempt.
Darvo is rejection with contempt. So
Okay,
denial.
what is Darvo? Okay, go through Darvo again. I've heard of it, but I don't remember about it.
Oh, okay. I was like, you just said earlier. Okay. So Darvo is basically D for deny, A for attack, R for reverse, V for victim and offender. So
Oh, I don't do that at all. If you
yeah.
reject me, I don't question it. I don't ask. I'm just not your cup of tea, and that's fine. I'm not for everybody, and everybody not for me. You have your own reasons as to why you reject me, and I don't feel like I'm owed an explanation. Like I feel like the younger me felt like I was, but now it's just like, okay, life goes on.
What about holding people accountable? Do you believe people should hold other people accountable, or do you believe
No,
people should hold themselves only accountable?
I think that you can only hold yourself accountable, and I don't think that you should hold people accountable because I feel like who the hell are you to hold somebody else accountable? Like, do you think you God or somebody? Like, how can you, a flawed human being, hold somebody else accountable for their actions?
Mm-hmm. Do you believe that gaslighting is healthy sometimes?
No, hold on. No, hold on. My AirPod died.
Okay. Do you believe that gaslighting is necessary sometimes?
No.
Okay. Have you ever questioned someone's memory before?
Um. Uh, the way it happened, then I'm gonna believe them. But if I don't remember myself and you're telling me something happened and you're like, I remember it that way, I'm gonna be like, I don't remember it that way. Are you sure? And if you say, yeah, it did, and you're stuck on it, I'm gonna be like, okay, like I believe you, and then I'm gonna go with how I feel in my heart, but I'm not gonna openly question you. I'm gonna move on because I don't think arguing with somebody about something like that is productive.
What's something that you still struggle with?
What'd you say, Sarah?
What's something you still struggle with, like a personal thing? Not nothing like I know we on the internet, but I'm just saying like what's something you find that like you still struggle with? Pause.
Mm, time management,
I guess
especially now. What you said?
no, you good. I just want to make sure I was clear. Talk about like far as like if you like personal growth.
Interpersonal.
So something besides time management?
Like and like how you interact with other people, not necessarily something for you just yourself.
Oh, definitely I can listen better. I feel like sometimes I'm more, um, that's not a word. Maybe it is a word. I feel like I react faster than just like instead of like calming down and like taking it in, sometimes I may react faster. That's one thing that I need to in assessing the situation. Sometimes I'm reactionary. Um, and then I would definitely say cutting people off when they're speaking, like, oh my God. Like probably impulse control if you want to like sum it all up into one thing. Definitely. I would say when it comes to you talking about okay, you say interpersonal relationships. Um, I would just say my reaction. I would say reactionary because I can like sum up a whole lot of things under that category. So to like sum it all up, I would say my reaction.
Do you think it's okay to other people you dislike?
Mm, I think it's okay to. I don't tend to dislike people, but I think it's okay to other bullies.
How do you feel about gossiping?
I'm a chismosa, so I like gossip. But if it, I want to hear about it, but I'm not gonna like pass it on unless you're threatening to harm somebody else. I like to know, but I definitely don't want to harm. So I guess if harm comes in be knowing, then I think that that's wrong. But um, I don't like spreading harmful information about people, so I tend to not do it. Like I said, unless you're harming another person, like you're going to harm another person physically or like mentally, like you're manipulating someone, like one of my close friends or family or something like that, then definitely then I will have to participate in gossip.
Do you think respect is earned?
No, I think respect is given to every human being on earth until they disrespect you. Then I don't really care about you. Or if you disrespect somebody in my family or one of my friends, then like it's not like I'm going to blatantly I lie because I blatantly disrespect Asaya and Jalazzy all the time. But like to physically harm them, probably not unless they did something to me. Most of the times, no, I don't believe in disrespecting people at all. Or I think respect is just automatically given.
My bad, y'all. I'm over here getting ready for bed. I'm shutting down.
I have heartburn.
I don't have any other questions.
Y'all like your answers, Larry. We're not gonna vote on it.
To be honest with y'all, I think that I'm a narcissist. So that's why I was like, okay, we can do it. Because I was reading through things and I was like, dang, I may be a narcissist.
We all have narcissistic traits. Even I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody got traits. Why do you think you're a narcissist though?
I don't know, cause like if I ask, I do think like okay, you got to put the prompt up, and I'll go through it.
Okay.
Like put the thing up. I do think I have a grandiose sense of self-importance. I do think I have fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, and ideal love. I believe that I'm special and unique, and I can only be understood by other special people who I'm associated with. Like, for example, you guys, I think that like I would never be understood by like a red pill man or a random like person who doesn't have the same ideologies as me. Maybe like case by case situational, we can probably find common ground, but I don't know. I'm kind of like just generalizing it. Um, I don't think I require excessive admiration because I give that to myself. I do have a sense of entitlement. And I think I do have unreasonable expectations of favorable treatment, especially when it comes to the men that I date. I am I am exploitative um, when it comes to achieving my own ends. I like when men spend money on me. I don't lack empathy. I am very aware of other people's feelings and recognize the things that they are going through. I don't think other people envy me. I try not to think that. Like, okay, if I have that feeling, I'm going to try to negate the feeling before I come to that conclusion about them. Like, I'm going to try my hardest to be like, this person is not envious of me. But have I ever came to the conclusion that somebody was envious of me? Yeah. Um, but I don't envy other people. Would I consider myself arrogant? Probably.
I have a question. I actually got a couple of them now. All right, so you said for number three, belief in being special and unique can only be understood by or should be associated with other special high status people, institutions, right? So the people that you feel like are special enough to be associated with you, what is it about those people that you think is special? What trait do you think you share with those people?
I think that it's people. It's like my family. It's like my friends, the people who are in my close inner circles, and I think that those are people who treat me with respect and love and kindness, and we kind of share the commonality of that. Like we've kind of qualified each other in that sense. So I think that hold on, let me reread the question again. I think that I understand my friends to be special, and I think that they can qualify me as being special because we have the certain beliefs in like education and friendships and like how you should respect and treat other people and just how to go about life. So I think that like I don't know, I guess the common core beliefs.
So follow a follow up question.
Mhm.
The people you're associated with, you consider special. Do you feel like the traits that you find special is uniform, or is it like different things in those people? You just find something special in each person.
I think that all my friends are special, and I think that they have their own uniqueness about them. But I think overall, somehow, I found like the common core beliefs in like my friends that I like that I've been able to whittle down in this friendship group. You get what I'm saying? Like they all have like their differences, but still share the common core beliefs.
So I want you to think of somebody who you think is not special. Okay. I don't want you to think on the extreme. I want you to think more subtle. Describe that person and why they're not special.
Hmm. I guess I wouldn't call them not special. I think everybody is special. Now that I think about it, I would call them mean or just like a not good person. But that doesn't mean that they're not special.
So then,
So
what
I
is
I
the
get,
think
definition of special then?
I don't know. Now that I think about it, maybe like you're special to me because you're my friend, but like in the grand scheme of things, like I don't.
So
I guess
how do
like
you measure that in general? How do you measure being special or someone's uniqueness? How do you measure that?
I think my friends are special because they like. I'm gonna put it to you this way.
In general, how do you, without mentioning your friends, in general, how do you measure someone's uniqueness?
Specialness or uniqueness.
Both. I mean, they're synonyms, so both is fine.
I think unique is different, but like specialness, I think like based on how they treat others.
Okay, so then if you're saying that it's different, then what is the difference between uniqueness and special?
Because when I say uniqueness, I mean like the things that define like their character, like as far as like okay, they laugh a little bit more, or they're fun. This person's funny, or one of my best friends, like I love her because like we both have like raunchy views together, and we can talk about
Right.
that.
And
Like
that friend is special to you, right?
I get no, I
Like,
don't think that like
so
those things
that,
aren't special to me.
I said that friend is special to you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, and so uniqueness is, that's also measured by special. These things are interchangeable. So no matter how you think about it, if you even go look it up, the synonym for special is unique.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and I would agree with that. But I think that the way that I'm looking at it in my mind might be a little different. Like the way I'm thinking about it, I think uniqueness is like those are traits that like don't really matter. Like if she wasn't funny, like I wouldn't care. I wouldn't stop being friends with her. But the reason why she's special, or the reason why I believe people to be special, like oh, this is a special person, is based on the way that they treat other people and their humanity.
all right, so now I want you to think,
Like you get what I'm saying?
yeah, I want you to think back to somebody who you think is not special.
Okay.
Right.
Because you're
And
still
you
not
can,
you're still not measuring it, because one minute you said it's just your friends and you who you think is special, then next minute you're like, oh well, yeah, I think everybody is special. And so
Yeah, because I had to
I
think
asked
about
you,
it.
so that's why I asked you, how do you measure that then?
No, I had to think about it. I think everybody is special.
so,
Okay.
here's my follow up. Um, and you can be extreme in this if you want. Think of a person who's not special and tell us what makes that person not special.
Okay. Generally speaking, I guess they will be special, but my mind has a problem like wrapping around somebody who's being special. Being special if they're not a nice person, like if they're not a good person, if they harm kids, if they harm random people, if they have no empathy for like humanity outside of themselves. Like if someone were to ask me, is that person special? Because because this person is in my mind like not a good person, I couldn't classify them as being special.
Okay,
I
so
Like
you
so
can
like a
measure. So if you can measure someone not being special, then you should be able to measure someone who is special. Then you just did it just now.
yeah,
Measure
I
someone
said
who's
that.
special.
I said I classify someone being special based on the way that they treat other people.
Right. So then let's hear it then in detail. You went into detail about not special, so let's go into detail about special.
I mean, I think like that's all the detail. I like based on the way that they treat other people. Are you moral? Are
That's
you?
that's
Do you
vague.
have?
That's vague and subjective
Okay, well that's what you're gonna get. So I don't know what else to tell you.
because I can go off in my own subjective belief or ideal of what special is. I can measure it, but again, that's based off of my personal experience. So when I'm asking you, it's based off of your personal experience, what it is. But you've denied that you had the ability to do it, but you just show me that you can do the opposite.
Well, yeah, I was
So
able to
that's
do
why
the
I asked.
opposite, but yeah, and that's what I'm telling you that I believe I can say someone's special based on the way that they treat other people, which is the opposite of why I can say somebody else is not special.
Right. You're not getting what I'm saying, but I will move on. Go for
Yeah,
it.
I'm not.
Um, what do you consider a high status person?
Hmm.
Um, I don't consider nobody a high status person. I guess like by societal standards, like a high status person like Beyonce. Like, but then who is she? Like just a regular human being? Like nobody is technically a high status person.
How do you view intellect?
I think intellectual people are fun to be around. They're fun to have conversations with. I believe the higher your intellect, the more fluidity you will have in society because it opens your mind up to greater understanding. So you're able to understand the world and the way that it works differently.
Hmm. So is likability one of the qualities?
Is likability?
Likability.
No.
Okay.
Um, use for 5, sense of entitlement, unreasonable expectations of especially favorable treatment of or automatic compliance with his and her expectations. Um, you say you require that from a partner. Do you also
Hmm.
require that from other people?
I just require that people treat me with respect and respect my boundaries.
But is expecting people to respect your boundaries, is that a sense of entitlement?
No, that's normal. But I think in my partner only, I expect like to feel like in my partner, like I want to feel like amazing. Like you need to treat me like just oh so special in a partnership. Like I think I've told you this before. Like I love the love bombing phase, and as soon as it's gone, like I don't want to be a part of it anymore. But if I can manage a relationship where it's constantly like that feeling, then like we can go with it.
What about avoidance? The
Like
trait of avoidance. Do you believe that you have any traits as far as avoidance?
no, I
What
think
about
I'm more
dismissive?
secure than avoidant.
What about dismissiveness? Dismissiveness is a trait of avoidance.
Um, at times I can be dismissive, but I wouldn't qualify that as a trait that I have. I think that at times I can be dismissive though. It just depends on it just depends on how the conflict is going. Like if I'm arguing with someone and we can't come to a common ground and it's almost like I'm arguing with a wall, I'm going to turn to dismissiveness because I feel like we're going nowhere and I don't want to continue arguing and I prioritize my peace.
What does avoidant behavior look like in relationship to you?
purposely ignoring your partner or like stalemating them based on them like smothering you or perceive too much attention or them getting too close to you
What is
and
your
trying to keep them at an arm's length.
what is your expectations for dark skinned women?
My expectations for dark skinned women.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I don't have no expectations for dark skinned women.
Okay, that's good. How do
So
you feel whenever you are rejected by dark skinned women as someone who is light skinned?
What you mean rejected by dark skinned women? Like, I've never been rejected by dark skinned women.
It's a question.
What you mean?
It's a question. It's how would you feel about being rejected by a dark skinned person?
Oh, I wouldn't feel no way. I don't like as friendship, like, and they're like, oh, I'm rejecting you because you light skinned, or like, give me an example, because I can't see that. Like, I can't like picture that in my brain. Like, I don't see how that would happen. Just like,
Well, it could be a self aware thing and an unconscious thing due to implicit biases. So I'll tell you, as someone who is dark skinned, because I noticed that a lot of light skinned women, biracial women, do have this lack of self awareness when it comes to it. As
okay,
strangers, whenever we speak in a certain tone, especially if it's assertive or direct, or is not the same way like how white women expect us, as all black women, to sound chipper, to sound passive.
uh huh,
Light skinned women, just like white women or biracial women, can take that as a form of rejection. And we're met with transgression and hostility or microaggressions. Sometimes, like you mentioned earlier, Tara, when I said the mean girl, the relational aggression comes out as well. But it's subtle. It's subtle because a lot of light skinned women, biracial women, and white teen women avoid that accountability or consequences of it. And they like to
I
weaponize plausible deniability.
I agree with you 100%. But when it comes to me, I don't qualify. Like, it never crosses my mind. And when I say never, I mean ever. Like, I cannot think of a time with me where, like, I had a disagreement with a dark skinned woman and I was like, oh my God, like, she's disagreeing with me, or we're getting into an argument because I'm light skinned and she's dark skinned, or she's dark skinned and she's angry.
It can
I
also
take,
be an unconscious thing, though, don't you think? Not
I
everything is
believe so
conscious.
with other people, but I don't think so with myself.
let me
Okay.
I
ask you
think
a
that,
question. Let me ask you a question.
go ahead.
Are you colorist?
No,
You don't believe that you're inherently colorist?
I believe that light skinned people are inherently colorist, but I think that I unpacked it based on the way that I was raised. And I think that I had a unique upbringing that helped me unpack that and
Mm.
unpack it
Do
quickly
you
too.
believe that white people are inherently racist?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you believe that biracial people are inherently colorist?
yeah,
What
I
about
do.
black men? Do you think black men are inherently colorist?
No, I think that they're inherent. You know what? I haven't thought about that long enough, to be honest with you. But like, I'm leaning towards yes.
So
I guess the
go back to
Hmm.
earlier when you identified how colorism and misogyny are connected.
I guess like there's a part of me that like I'm gonna say yes, but let me tell you the hesitation. I hate that for us. So like it's hard for me to like say that because I feel like that's so sad and pathetic. So I'm like, damn, like that, yeah, y'all are inherently colorist.
Tara, you don't
Maybe
see
we
it. Hold
all
on one
are.
second. Tara, you telling me you can't see it?
What?
You don't see it.
The inherent colorist in men?
In cow me.
You think I'm a colorist? Okay.
Yeah, everyone's inherently colorist, including
So,
myself.
so here's the thing. Think of it like this, Lynn. Um, do you believe that all men are inherently misogynistic?
Yeah.
Do you feel like any man is capable of fully unpacking his misogyny, um, and being completely healed from it?
Yeah, but it would take a whole lot.
Do you feel like a man living in our society where misogyny is everywhere, even in places it's hard to recognize for us, would be capable of completely unpacking his own misogyny?
You said completely incapable of it.
No, completely unpacking it. Like, not misogynistic at all.
It would be very freaking hard. Very hard. It would be very hard to.
Do you think it's possible?
I think it's possible.
And so you understood earlier that misogyny and colorism goes hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
And so you understand that all of us are capable of internalizing misogyny, and that includes misogynoir.
Mm-hmm.
So then what makes you think that you will be the exception of the rule when it comes to colorism?
I don't know. I just think that about myself.
Right. That's what I mean by the conscious and unconscious, by the way. The lack of self-awareness.
Yeah, I would say, so I could say like my experience with colorism has been unique. Not experiencing it, but like unpacking it. When we did the colorism live the other day, I had my sister come up, who is a dark skinned woman. I'm light skinned, and we grew up in a household where colorism was heavily a problem. And I participated in like her in mistreating her. And although I apologized to her, I had to sit with the fact that when I was causing her harm by the things I was saying, that even though I was a child, there was a level of satisfaction I was getting out of it. And I had to confront that and accept that, like, it wasn't like I didn't want to take the position that I was just a child and that I was just situational. But no, like I played a part in it. And even today, as I unpack my internal my colorism, I notice like sometimes I don't notice stuff right away. Like it was a situation with Monique, and I still had issues with her, but I realized that she had came out with a video, and I completely dismissed what she said. And I had to go back after I heard the conversation about, she being a dark skinned woman and wondering, is that why I completely dismissed what she said? Because the reality is, I am a colorist, and as long as I live in this society that taught me colorism, it's not going to just go away. It's something I have to constantly unpack, consistently unpack. But the danger,
You're uncomfortable.
yeah, and the danger in that is for me to say, "Oh, I unpacked it. It's not a problem anymore," because once I say that, then I'm not challenging myself anymore, and I can cause harm to dark skinned women.
But the main people who say
I
that,
think
I'll say
that
this as a dark skinned woman, the main people who say that are usually people who feel some sort of transgression. So like me as a dark skinned woman, usually when light skinned women say that to me, what they're telling me subtly is that my humanity is not important enough. I am not one of the good ones. I'm not one of the ones that they have measured and deemed worthy enough for my humanity to be respected. And so they'll kind of minimize my intellect. They'll minimize my beauty. They'll minimize just my existence. They'll try to create a space where I am invisible or othered. And they do it subtly. It's not outright in my face. You know what I mean?
is that what you felt for me?
Able to see it with the arrogance, that kind of comes up. You know what I mean? Or even if we ask questions, right? me as a dark skinned woman, I can ask a question and they will act like they're confused. However, you as a light skinned woman, you can ask the same question or just word it a different way, and all of a sudden they will have some form of understanding. That is colorism. It's the same thing that white tea people do when it comes to racism. You've seen it before, Tara.
So I want to ask you a question. Is that what you felt when it came to me?
I'm speaking in general, but yeah, some aspects of it, yes.
Okay. So like you, Tara, I grew up in a household with my sister who is dark skinned and I've been light skinned, and I also grew up in Southern California. So I had the unique experience, not unique to Southern California, but I was raised in kind of like a melting pot of people. And I was raised in an area, I think I told y'all before, where it's mostly Hispanic people. So all my life, I was only the black girl. I was not the light skinned black girl. I was just the black girl. So for a while, I did not understand, like, because I'm talking about grade school, like kindergarten, first, second, third grade. It took me a while to understand the differences, like, of how society treated dark skinned people versus light skinned people. Because in my home, there was no difference. Like my mom never made any subtle remarks about the differences between me and my sister. And me and my sister talk about colorism often, because not until I became an adult, me and my sister had the conversation, because we were both able to kind of talk about our experiences from growing up. And I didn't know that on her own, even without us saying anything, because my mom's light skin, my dad's light skin, and then my sister's brown skin. I didn't know that she felt othered in herself until she expressed that to me. From what she expressed to me.
Are you addressing Tara with this story?
I'm talking to everybody on the panel. Okay. But Tara brought up her situation, so I'm replying to her situation.
Okay.
I'm replying to her because we kind of have similar situations. She brought it up and telling me her story because I feel like she was addressing me.
Go ahead.
But yeah, my sister, she kind of expressed the differences, and I was able to conceptualize more and more as I got older. So when you put it that way, I guess like, no, I'm not healed from colorism, because I'm constantly reassessing like the things that happen around me, like as far as like being a woman dating in this world, right? So the older I got, the more I was able to realize like, oh, okay, when men say this, that's not okay. And I need to not date certain men who think that way. I wasn't able to conceptualize that as like a teenager, but now that I'm an adult, I'm definitely able to. And then I guess I can relate when you say, like, I can definitely relate when you say that there will always be new challenges I will have to face and new things that I will have to learn. So when you put it like that, then no, I'm not like healed from colorism. I guess it's the same thing as like you can't graduate from therapy. But I would like to say the way I thought about that, like when you asked me, was more am I aware of it and am I open to like the ideas of it? Like I'm not in complete rejection, because when I look at the way other light-skinned women have reacted to colorism, and I hear the things that they say, it's incredibly alarming to me, and it's very distasteful, and I kind of get this like nasty feeling in my mouth.
Right, that's overt.
And then when
overt. That would be overt. Yeah, to overt colorism, of course, because overt colorism, the same thing with overt racism. Of course, it's going to get that outward reaction. But what about covert? What about when it's subtle? Do you have that awareness to pay attention to when it is subtle?
Yeah, I definitely do. Because I have the awareness to pay attention to a lot of subtle things in people.
I wouldn't say as a light-skinned woman that you're not going to have blind spots the same way that a white teen woman what have blind spots when it comes to racism? You have it all figured out.
For the most part, I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, I do think that I would be able to spot covert colorist because and it's not because I'm a light skinned woman, and I just think that it's because of who I think I am in general. So I'm able to spot somebody who is trying to manipulate me, even though they're trying not to hide it well, or somebody who's going to attempt to gaslight me, or I'm able
Yeah.
to.
How are you centering yourself in that when someone's being colors? They're not being colors to you. They're being colors to dark-skinned women. So
Because I pay attention to the way.
How would you be able to dictate that more than a dark-skinned woman? Do you think you could think for and over us?
I didn't say that. I said that I will be able to spot it because I pay attention to the way people treat other people because that's always on my mind.
Right, but it doesn't mean that you will know everything. Of course, you're going to have blind spots.
I mean, but obviously you don't know everything, but eventually I'll be able to. Eventually, I don't claim to know everything, but I'm definitely gonna be able to spot some red flags, and I would have to like tussle with that
So
in my
my question
mind
ties
along with
into
everything. Okay, stop cutting me off.
it ties into blind spots. That's what I was asking.
Okay, but okay. First of all, I didn't even finish what I was saying in the first place.
You're
And second of all,
rambling at this point.
okay, ma'am, I don't give a shit what I'm doing. Stop cutting me off and stop.
We've done
doing
it
that.
to, first of all, we've done it to each other.
I think.
We've done it to each other. Tara cut
No,
off.
you've
You
been
have cut off,
doing it
and
all
we have cut
night.
off. No, I have not.
Coco.
I have not. I'm very
Coco.
self-aware of when I do it.
Coco, stop fucking playing with me.
No one's
I
playing.
don't give a shit who the fuck you think you are.
So
But
this is
stop
what
fucking playing with me, Coco. Stop fucking playing with me. I said don't cut me off, so don't fucking cut me off. You fucking pissed.
Oh my god.
Hey Tara, how you doing?
Hey James. Y'all, what's up, James?
What's up? I'll wait for you to finish what you were saying.
No, no. Go ahead, James.
Well, I had a question because I was kind of confused the difference between anti-blackness and colorism. Aren't they the same thing, basically?
Not necessarily.
No.
So think about anti-blackness as a reaction to racism, right? So when we think about like it's like usually anti-blackness is like under the eyes of white gaze, and I get how that could be like tied to colorism too. But usually colorism is something you'll see. I don't know.
Like blatant discrimination against dark-skinned people. But when it came to anti-blackness, I think it's like blatant disrespect towards people of African descent, like everybody as a whole, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was thinking that black people can be inherently anti-black, but I'm not sure about inherently colorist. I was thinking about it in that way. What do you think?
Try to say one more time.
I believe black people can be inherently anti-black, but not not inherently colorist, if that makes sense. Because I feel like when it comes to being anti-black, like you make the microaggressions, like you make the subtle jokes like of people being too dark, but I think that's just like self-hate, not necessarily colorist, right? Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense or not.
I see what you're trying to say, but colorism is one of the components of anti-blackness. And colorism, futurism, texturism, all that is like interconnected. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And all of that is what kind of represents a big function of anti-blackness. It's colorism. Okay. So like someone who is lighter skin tone or biracial, they're not going to experience like the brunt end of anti-blackness more so than someone who has strong African features and who is dark skin. It doesn't mean that they don't experience anti-blackness at all, but the hardships of it, it'll be someone darker who gets the brunt end of it, or someone who has more African features who gets the brunt end of it.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense to me. All right. I had that question, but I can say it if you don't mind.
Did you want to respond to the conversation at all, James?
Oh, yeah, I can. I mean, I came in the middle of it, I think, but what I heard was basically Lynn saying that she can spot like colorist acts, like microaggressions happening. I didn't know what that necessarily had to do with her having blind spots because I didn't think that had any relevancy to the conversation that she was talking about. But
Do you experience colorism?
I don't know if that's fair to say right now because I live in a very, very white area at the moment. So I don't really feel like I experience colorism, but I know I experience racism on a regular basis.
So you haven't spent any time in like um more diverse groups?
Say again?
You haven't been in spaces with like more diverse groups?
Yeah, I have, and I can't say I have experienced colorism before, but I thought you were talking about like right now. But
Do you think you will be able to recognize it if you experience it?
yeah, I can recognize it
So,
from most
like,
levels.
what is an example of colorism? Like something you will recognize, like a microaggression, like you were referring to.
First thing that came to mind was one of my best friends in the military. He's a light skinned guy. He's Puerto Rican and African American, and he has a lot of tattoos just like I do. But people will say that his is nice, but they can't really see mine, even though they can really visibly see my tattoos. They make it seem like they can't see the details of it just because of my dark skin. And
Well,
it kind of subsided.
so the people who said that, did they know you and this other person?
Yeah, they knew us.
Did you ever bring it to their attention at all?
I never put it in the form of colorism like that. I didn't really talk about it then, but
But did
no.
you address it?
Say again?
Did you address it at all?
No, I just said it didn't make sense because I knew they could visibly see my tattoos, so I didn't know why they made us comment on it. But I didn't say anything about it really.
Now, knowing what you know now, and you could go back, would you have addressed it?
I don't think so, just because like I don't see myself as lazy, but it's just there's so much breaking down that you have to do with certain people who don't even think about this stuff on a regular basis that I think I would just get exhausted from explaining it and having to explain it over and over again to
So you
people that just
don't,
don't.
you didn't want to do the emotional labor
I didn't know. I didn't want to be honest.
because you think they wouldn't understand.
I didn't think they would understand at all. No, I think most of them were Hispanic, so they just. I mean, I know colorism is in their communities as well, but it's kind of hard to, I guess, explain it to them so they don't get offended right away, like as if they are the ones always perpetuating. Because I mean, they are. They just don't know what not to say. So I don't know. It's kind of confusing.
Do you feel like you have to walk on eggshells?
No, not now.
But
Like,
before?
yeah, before I just didn't care to mention anything at all. So
No, I feel you on that.
I have something to say. I think that Coco, I don't think because you're a dark skinned woman or a brown skinned woman. I actually went to your page before all of this, and I thought you were light skinned. But anyways, I think that you're a rude person, and I think that you have this.
Anyways,
Come on, y'all.
that was a huge microaggression too. I don't like.
Mm.
Hey, can I interject, please?
Go ahead.
All right. I just wanted to say that I wanted to state first that I'm a lighter person, and I don't think that way at all. But I have come to recognize my privilege as I've gotten older. So I want to state that fact because when I say next, some people get angry. And I was in the lab the other day and I said something. The person got triggered and didn't even hear what I said. So I understand people on here emotionally. I don't know where they come from or what they went through. So I'm just going to express my experience. It goes both ways. So me being a lighter person, I was in a live maybe 2 weeks ago, and a lady said, I thought you was a dark skinned guy by the way you speak. So, I guess she thought I was gonna start singing like I'll be sure or something. I don't know, but you
I
you
believe that
automatically
colorism goes both ways.
yes. And so
It doesn't, though. Do you know the definition of colorism?
I didn't even say she was. Well, see, this is. I'm gonna restate this because see, the gaslighting is starting.
It's not.
Okay.
I asked you a question. I said that.
Okay.
Hang
Let
on,
me.
it's okay, sis. I
let
asked
me-
How about
specifically.
this? How about
Now, I wanted to address something. Um uh I don't know how I don't know what happened in the conversation between y'all two. I might have missed it.
It was just me asking questions, and
no?
eventually she
I'm
got.
about to tell you because
Stop! Please stop that. Thank you. And I'm doing conflict resolution right now, but you don't want it. So the whole like.
you're not the one who was offended, Coco. So you're immature. You don't want to listen to me, and you're fucking immature. I'm trying to.
Good night, y'all. Good night. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
I'll see you tomorrow. I mean, talk to you tomorrow.
Talk to y'all tomorrow, y'all.
All right, bye.
I'm tired. Thank y'all for coming up. I'm tired, y'all. I really am. I'm too tired. Good night.